Every Breath You Take, the demo, the final version. Let's talk about it and see if maybe that guitar player had a lot more to do with it than we think. Hey, it's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
So we're talking Andy Summers. Sting.
He's always watching.
He's always, well, Sting's always watching you.
Both. I like to think they're both.
First caveat, Sting is one of my favorite solo artists and band type. I love Sting. I saw Sting on his 10 Summoner's Tale tour back in the 90s, I think, at Carowinds. It was awesome.
Is it the Vince Gill and Sting Crossroads? You ever seen that?
No.
Pretty fantastic.
I just think his songs are amazing. They stand the test of time. The Police is one of the best power trios. So Every Breath You Take has had a little controversy lately. I think Andy is sort of trying to sue for a little bit more royalty payment. Andy Summers, the guitar player. He wrote the iconic riff, which I think we're both going to go down on like probably similar opinions on this. What do you think about that riff?
It's amazing.
Does it make the song?
Yes. I mean, the song, obviously, we just listened. You just showed me the demo, right? Yes.
And we have a link in this video to the demo and the video as well.
Obviously, there was like a vision and a good thing to work with there, but it would be kind of just an okay, neat song without that iconic guitar part.
And like the demo is like, it's a raw demo. It's like done MIDI, like, simple drum machines, simple keyboard pads. The chords are different when he goes to the chorus.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank God they changed that, because it's this weird sort of jazzy thing that wouldn't have worked in the pop.
I mean, you can go to the Andy Summers interview with Rick Beato, and they talk about this, and it's great. And they talk about him and his wife hearing Sting do it and saying, wow, that's something.
Well, and I remember hearing as a child the interview that Sting was on the radio once. It stuck with my mind for some reason, that he was talking about how he wrote the song in 15 minutes. Like, just like the words, it all sort of flowed out. It's one of the great sort of pop rock ballads.
It is the best stalker ballad ever.
James Blunt, you have nothing on this song. Nothing.
Nothing. Stalker.
This is the original.
So
No, but it
speaks for them.
I say the guitar part also is so. The guitar and the drum, and this is a perfect combination of like Sting writing an amazing song, and then the band creating this amazing thing around. They're not studio session musicians. They're the band, and they've colored the song beyond what it was.
But like that's the synergy a band's supposed to have, right?
I
hope. You have a frontman or a musician, a songwriter, and then that's what the band's supposed to do. Like, so when you really do split the credit, like that's how it's supposed to happen. Like, everybody brings something that makes it better.
Well, and this is one of those rare cases where it's so iconic, that lick for guitar players, and it's not as easy as it sounds.
It's not.
And it's a moving line, and it's akin to, I'd say, like Sweet Child of Mine without the riff. In the beginning is not Sweet Child of Mine.
Right.
If we just had like, she got eyes, and they just start with the D to C to G chord.
Yeah, the Sheryl Crow version.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which is fine, but
it's just fine.
Yeah. No, it's such a powerful guitar part.
It is.
It's.
Well, it immediately, when you hear it come on, when you hear the song come on, and you hear that, it sets the tone. It just fits, right? It just works.
And I think Sting would have worked out some different things possibly than the keyboard pads that he had on there, but it's so different. It is. I do watch that Rick Beato's video.
Even if you just go find this little section of it, it's worth it. But that whole interview with Andy Summers is great, actually. Now, sometimes demo things get released, and I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. I think this is cool. It's cool to hear the contrast. Obviously, the artists are in charge of releasing it, and it's a cool anniversary for that song. Right.
Sometimes it just gets released.
But sometimes
this song is 42 years old.
I know. Which means it is as old as me. So it came out in '81, right?
Jeez. You're that old?
I'm 42 actually. But it is 42. You said 42 or 41? Yeah, 42. Yeah. So I'm as old as.
You're 32.
Every breath you take, sadly.
God, that's funny. Like that, your parents could have been making love to this song.
I like to think
when you were made.
That I was conceived of this possibly.
Mine were making love to the Elvis Presley trilogy.
There you go.
With Battle Hymn of the Republic, Dixie, and that other tune in there too.
That explains a lot of things.
Yeah, so they used to make out in the backseat of my dad's car, like while I was a child. I wasn't in the car. I remember, like, I'd go in the garage. I'd hear the music just blaring, dun dun dun, glory glory, hallelujah, that part, and I'd see them kissing. I was like, that's really cute.
Everyone's like, wow, that was more than we
That's
more than we wanted to know.
Parent moment for Dad.
Feel free to let us know that in the comments. Good times.
Explains a lot.
So
No,
anyways.
no. Yes, and back to demos. So Jimi Hendrix has about 38 songs going to get released.
Yeah. See, I don't
know how I feel.
That I'm less good with because the last time they released some of the Jimi Hendrix stuff, it was like, eh.
But then I want it to all be out there for us to have. Because
From a historical,
it's Jimi Hendrix, you know.
there's I have a Tom Petty box set where there's a whole album of when they were still like Mudcrutch, where they were Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
I thought it was like Tom Petty and the Mudsuckers or something.
Tom Petty and the Mud. That's not true.
Okay, I can't remember what it was.
Mudcrutch.
Mudcrutch. I'm close.
You're close.
Mudcrutch.
But you know they didn't have the key stuff yet, and so it's like a version of "Don't Do Me Like That" without the. You know what I mean? And it's cool to hear how those songs progressed. Like, that's really fun.
Yes.
And I think this is in that vein, that same spirit.
Okay.
It's really fun to hear where this song started.
And
what
like,
it is.
it's funness aside, there's lots of money on the line too, apparently, for this, because Andy wants to get paid, I think, for it, and and his photography habit is expensive. Those lenses cost a lot of money. We know.
We do know.
We're shooting with $25 lenses right now.
It's horrible.
It's
Horrible.
Now and then you jump into other types of music. Let's say we go back to like some of these great iconic country riffs that we've heard on some great recordings. Those guys were musicians for hire,
Sure.
and they get paid a fee,
Yes.
and and they're okay with it because that's how they made their living.
That's it.
And then they made this great thing. And now we have some guys in the pop rock field, I'm not going to say names, that are complaining a lot. Like, I should have gotten paid more for these music for hire jobs I did because this riff is so iconic. This riff is so iconic.
Because they're saying that they basically arranged / produced / co-wrote the song. If I'm not mistaken, even like that riff for Pretty Woman, da-na-na-na-na, which is, I mean, he's a studio guy, right? Like that one always comes to mind for me because I know that guy.
And that's one of the greatest riffs. Dun, 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 dun,
But
dun.
he didn't get credit for a writer on the song. I think if you're gonna do that,
He should have.
he should have. And I mean, I think there are some rare cases where like the artist says, "Oh, you made this song. Here's a little bit of credit."
What about the Chattahoochee?
No, that's just bare messing, man. Like just playing. He got paid for the day for the session.
What a great, I know.
It's amazing.
He's cool with it.
Him talking about that is really funny because he said he played this thing and then Alan was like, "That's great. Can you play half the notes?" And then that's what we ended up with. So apparently it was more like getting after it. Who knows what it was.
That's cool. That's but he knew his job and he did it.
I think if you're gonna take songwriting credit and you're a session guy, you probably have to work that out beforehand.
Right.
Hey, I'm you don't have much here. I'm gonna write this part, but instead of you paying me, at that point maybe you give up some of your upfront money that you got paid to do it.
Now, Every Breath You Take has generated obviously millions of dollars in royalties, and it continues to generate. For Sting alone, he gets $2,000 a day for life from P. Diddy. Is that not because when P. Diddy sampled it without permission?
He did lose that one lawsuit in the B movie where he used the name Sting, and he says it's just a Prince about stage name. That is hilarious. If you've watched the B movie, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't remember this.
When they're in the court. And
No, I don't remember the B movie at all.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
it's so long ago.
The Bees are suing everyone.
You watched this with your kids or something?
I watched it like 8,000 days in a row. Not anymore, thank God. But
When you were a kid or when your kids were
No, when my kids were kids.
Okay,
For some reason, we watched the B movie over and over, and it's got that great version of Here Comes the Sun. But anyways, there's a point in the court where they're like suing all these people who have like culturally appropriated the Bees. And one of the people is Sting. And he's like, it's just a Prince about stage name. It's hilarious.
And did Sting sue the B movie?
I don't know. Probably not.
That's what I was thinking you were saying. That's what
I was just joking about. In the movie, Sting, they all lose. They lose to the Bees. So
okay. Well, I remember when I feel like the B movie came out. Did it come out at the same time as like Ants?
I have no idea. I think Ants was later.
Wasn't that Woody Allen or something?
That one sucked.
I feel like that's the one I saw, and then I was like, screw the B movie.
The B movie is pretty good. You would enjoy. There's a lot of adult things in the B movie, like that you, if you're a kid, I don't know that you get because it's Jerry Seinfeld. So
I have my wife and I have different opinions on movie watching with our kids. I'm pretty good about it. But I was like, hey, my oldest really wants to see Gladiator, and she's like, Jesus, Baxter. I'm like, it's not that bad. There's like, she looks up the parent ratings. Like, he tries to make out with his sister. I'm like, he tries, he doesn't. We don't have any sisters for him to worry about. Like, there's lots of extreme violence. Yeah, we've seen Saving Private Ryan already.
I'm sort of fine on most of the violent stuff.
Yeah, I did watch like the beginning of The Beekeeper with them, and I'd forgotten how many times the F word was said in the first like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, I had to stop it. I was like, I gotta. My middle child is like, please let us finish it, Dad.
That movie could have been so cool.
It was almost awesome.
It was almost. I mean, like they could have gone into the the lore and like where they came from.
It could have been like the poor man's John Wick.
But it wasn't.
And it was just.
And it was. Don't get me wrong. It was enjoyable.
There's parts of it that are really fun. And we all love Jason. Jason, this is a love letter to you.
When he's killing people.
Yes, when you're killing people.
That's
great.
amazing.
And the bad guys, when you're killing and hurting them and like making like super rich bad people like pay for their crimes, we like that.
Kicks that dude into the truck. I mean, it's amazing. That part is great, but I just wish they would have developed the story a little. I mean, just that much.
I feel like, Andy Summers might be Jason Statham. He might be out there just like cleaning up crime for us out there.
I like to think that.
I like to think they're buddies because they're both from that little British Isles.
Okay. All right. We know all British people know each other.
And if you haven't watched it, tune in for the Olympics. They've been pretty fun. I've been watching some, and it's been enjoyable. The opening ceremony was insane, but it was also fun in certain ways. But it was insane. But no, the Olympics, the men's gymnastics. That dude with the glasses on the pommel horse. I mean,
There's some great memes about him. Right?
He's blowing up on social media. Check him out. It's awesome.
They were saying it's like they activate him, like he's just there, like
Yeah.
and then bam, comes to life and destroys everyone.
Because like the other guys are having some problems, and he just comes in and is like, I got this. I'll get us a medal.
Don't worry, guys.
Don't worry, I'm here. Like he's like Clark Kent, the glasses. Like he was like the nerd. Like there's lots of funny memes about how sexy he is online too, which is hats off to you guys. And watch. It's just fun to watch. The swimming's been great. The gymnastics been great.
I watched judo with the kids yesterday because I just
the
think
judo
that's fun.
That was crazy too. Like the upset that happened. Whoa. And it's just fun. I told my wife I'm going to try out for darts in the Olympics. I don't think that's in the Olympics, but it should be. Because that's the only sport where you can actively be drunk, smoke, and be out of shape.
Well, my wife was joking. Is how people will put like such and such like Nashville recording artists because they like once went at a recording studio.
They went through Nashville on a road trip.
I'm going to start adding Olympic hopeful to all my things.
That's
you know what I mean? Because it could be hopeful.
Former almost Olympian.
I think that's it. Olympic hopeful.
I mean, you are hopeful.
I'm going to add that to my business cards.
God bless
you. Here. Jonathan Robinson Casino Guitars. Olympic.
He's got new business cards in, but not for you or me. Sorry. Just Sean and Dylan got some more, and then the teaching student. None of us got any. That's how it is. Hey, thanks again for joining us. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.
Hit the old bell.
And don't forget that road to 100,000. Tune in every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the live streams are happening. We're also giving away cool guitars, pedals, amps every month for the foreseeable future.
We'll be watching you.